please. If you don't mind, I'll ask for a roll call.
Yes, sir. Ross?
Here.
Hamilton? Here. Taylor is not here yet. Robinson?
Here.
Baxter?
Here.
Harris? Here. Gann?
Here.
And Hyde is not here yet. A quorum is present, sir.
Thank you. If you please stand, Mr. Harris will give us our invocation of pledge of allegiance.
Bow our heads, please. Lord, we ask you to lead us and guide us as we go through tonight's businesses, Lord, with the city of North Little Rock. Help us to make appropriate decisions, Lord, that will continue the growth and the success of this wonderful community we call City of North Little Rock, Lord. We pray, Lord, for our first responders, our electrical workers, our firemen, our police. Keep them safe, Lord, in their hazardous duties. Also, Lord, we pray, Lord, and send out a big prayer, Lord, for the Ukrainians across the world, Lord. And please give them the courage and the fight to keep going for freedom, Lord. We ask you to be with them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So moved.
Okay, on the motion and the second for the minutes of the previous meeting, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor? I'm sorry, Taylor's still not here. Robinson?
Here.
Yes? Minutes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes.
Okay. Mayor, we have one communication.
Go ahead.
Does anybody?
Move to accept and file.
Second.
On the motion for the one communication, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
And Gann?
Yes.
Hey, Mayor, you have presentations, I believe.
I do. Let us go ahead and start with Mr. Fimple, please. Coach, I should say. Come on down, please. And bring the team, if you don't mind, please.
Let's just stand up.
I think we stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
What we doing?
Get his shirts on.
Do we stand on the granite?
So I'm going to have
Yeah, they're a
pictures
little tall
taken.
for me.
Yeah, you're on TV. You can see it.
Tall girls. Squinch in.
Coach Fimple,
Squinch in.
I'm going to get back up there. I'm going to let you say a little bit about them, and then you run and get in the picture, and I'll be behind them, okay? So you're...
Get our picture.
Come on, Charlie. Let's go.
This is your 2022 state champions. They finished the year 27-4. Just an outstanding group of kids. We have 4 seniors that are going to go play college basketball next year and get degrees, which I make sure that they do that. And we're going to keep them to that. Had an outstanding season. It was a true team. We didn't have McDonald's All-Americans. We didn't have a lot of those kids. We had just a really unbelievable group of kids that really shared the basketball and played like you want. It's a coach's dream to play like they did. So this is your state champs.
Thank you. Jared, can you get us? Way to go, girls, ladies.
Congratulations.
Bringing the boys up next. So
Wait, we got another.
thank you.
Congratulations, Coach.
I'm one of your
Appreciate
biggest
the job you
fans.
done. Congratulations, Coach.
Good job.
Johnny.
We got one more.
Congratulations.
We got one more?
Come on, guys.
The boys won too.
Yeah.
Now hang on. Now we really need to stand on the granite.
Come
on, Charlie.
They put the tall one in. I'm going right in. He's going in the middle.
You know the routine.
Come on up here, guys.
All right, Khalil, I've got to stand on something this time.
sure you never get tired of the tall jokes.
It can hold on just a tad bit.
You need to change places.
No, you can't.
I know, that's what I say, you stay there.
No, I'm coming over there too. I'm coming over there too. I can't even see.
Right here is your 2022 6A state champions. Something real quick about these guys. Coach Fimple was talking about, says I did have 2 McDonald's All-Americans on there. Really proud of that. We wouldn't accomplish what we did without the core group of guys that we had. This group of guys traveled from Dallas in Thanksgiving to Memphis the first week of December, to Fort Myers, Florida, towards the middle of before Christmas, Pine Bluff in the King Cotton Classic during Christmas break, and things that we was in the airports and we were in hotels, and one of the biggest things I'm proud of is that I had from hotel workers to TSA people in the airports just a compliment the guys, how respectful they were, how good young men they were, and I mean that'll melt an old overweight coach like me, that your kids they're thought of by other people that don't see them every day. That's their first impression of North Little Rock student athlete. So that was really special. And then besides that, we went to Fort Myers, went 2-2 there, and then we didn't lose a game. We won our last 20 in a row, and then we're state champions, ranked anywhere from 5th in the country to 17th in the country in whatever poll, but 2022 state champs.
Okay, y'all ready? 1, 2. Okay.
Thanks, fellas.
Can I say one thing before you guys leave? Hold up. These players would not be where they are without the coaching that we have from Johnny Rice and Daryl Fimple. And I know a little bit about basketball now. I don't play, but I do know a little bit about it. And all over the state and our country, they are very well respected. So you guys do not realize what you've got right now as a coach. One day you probably will. So thank both of you.
Oh, yes. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Johnny. How many is that now out of 7 years? How many is that? 6 out of 7. That's 6 out of 10? I'll take that. All right, whatever. And the girls? Coach? 5. Woo! I guess we should change it from North Little Rock to what, Titletown? Got you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. If y'all want to stay, you can. If you want to leave, hit the road. Khalil, you can stay if you want. I know you like it here. Nick, thank you very much. I am so proud of all y'all. I know the council is too, the city.
We're here to honor them, not punish them.
All right, Miss Whitby.
Okay, so under unfinished business, R2254, Mayor Hartwick.
I'm going to ask to call it, please.
Yes, sir.
Just give a sec. Just give a sec, Diane, please.
You ready?
Let's get them out. All right, let's go.
A resolution reappointing Edward Nelson to the North Little Rock Wastewater Treatment Committee.
Shut the door. Please, thank y'all. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Is there a motion and a second?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to make a little bit of observation, if I don't mind. I've kind of done a little research, and I'd like to kind of make a little discussion about what I discovered. When this appointment first came up, at the same time we were approving a lot of money, with the bond issue, and it just kind of got me thinking about North Little Rock wastewater. And typically in our roles, we don't really, we reappoint and move on. But this particular case, I know people in Conway, the city of Conway, I'm doing some business there. I know people in Maumelle, I'm doing some business there. I know some people in Sharewood. And I just did a little research with regards to North Little Rock wastewater. And a couple of months ago, we started talking about some expansions, which happens to be behind my house. I get to look at it, and it's a beautiful Burns Park and everything like that. So anyway, I kind of took it upon myself for the city council, if you don't mind, to just kind of do a little research. And I did find out that in Little Rock, the Little Rock Wastewater has a rotating council member on the commission. So they rotate a council member on and off. They kind of do that too. So I found out that. Found out a little bit about treatment plants, some in Conway and what's going on there out in the middle of a rural area. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. I guess what I'm saying is, and Mr. Clayton, you don't have to respond. I'm not asking for a response. I'm going to support your nomination because my mayor nominates it and he supports it. So I've got to be for my mayor, okay? So, but from outside looking in, if I was in your shoes, I would probably like to get somebody, I don't know if you can or not, but I would probably appoint somebody, or like to get a commissioner from the city of Maumelle to be on your commission. I'd like to get I think you might want to get a commissioner from the city of Sharewood to be on your commission. I don't know if that's even possible, but I'm sure that you've done a fantastic job, but the term limits to me, I think, should be considered, and maybe a little change through there in the commission, I think, would be beneficial for you. I know you would have to, explain a lot of stuff different times, and you may have to get paid more for it, doing a harder job, but still, there just needs to be a little bit more transparency there, if you ask me, in my humble opinion. Thank you very much, Mayor.
You're welcome. There's a motion, Mr.
Wait.
Hamilton.
No, it's all right.
I concede the floor.
Mr. Again.
Can we ask Mr. Clayton to come to the podium?
Yes, ma'am.
Is he here? There you go. I'm just interested to know how many years that Mr. Nelson has been on the commission, the committee.
Okay, my name is Michael Clayton. I'm a director of North Little Rock Wastewater. I did not look and see when he was originally appointed, but he's been a long-term member, 20-plus years, and he's been a very valuable asset to the committee in terms of knowledge, sound, practical mind, and he does good critical thinking skills, and he helps us try to make good decisions in the best interest of the ratepayers. If you don't mind, I'd like to answer Mr. Harris's question. That discussion about having committee members from outside and from Maumelle and Sherwood has been discussed in the past. And from what I understand, it's been researched by our legal team, and the ordinances that created the committee requires that they be a resident of North Little Rock. And that.
I knew that. So, yes, anything else, Mr. Hamilton? Ms. Gann, you through?
I'm through.
All right, Mr. Hamilton.
Mr. Clayton, one last thing. As to the number of years he served and gained that experience, how much money has he made from North Little Rock Wastewater?
Oh, it's all volunteer.
It's all volunteer. So the answer would be 0?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
That's correct.
As to Councilmember Harris's points, I concur with almost all of them, at least to the fact that they have validity to be thought about. I think that Councilmember Harris even having to say, hold on everybody, don't beat me up, I kind of want to look at this, is almost ridiculous. It's our job as council members to ask questions. And today I'm voting to approve the appointment of Mr. Nelson because of the experience and because of his nature, or the fact that he has no pecuniary interests in sitting on the board and representing the ratepayers for our Wastewater Commission. What I'm not voting on today is any issue that's coming before us, because I also have questions about lagoons, mechanical treatments, and different types of commission makeup and stuff. So I just want to say that I concur with Councilmember Harris in terms it's good for us to look into these things. And today, I'm simply voting on the appointment. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anybody else? There's a motion and a second.
Yes, sir. On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes?
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Thank you.
Okay, now we've got ordinances that are on hold. The first one is 02204, Councilmember Taylor.
Did he leave anybody instructions on this? If not,
I move to hold it, or can I?
No, you
no,
can't call
this
it.
is the last time.
He's the only one that can call it.
So,
Am I correct on that, Ms.?
well,
Is there
so
room to call it?
if he asks you to call it for him, you could. But if he did not, then
I had no
it would be held,
conversation.
and this is the sixth and final time on the agenda, so it will be automatically withdrawn and would have to be refiled.
Anything? Anybody? If
Oh.
not,
Okay.
go ahead.
02220, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it, please.
An ordinance redistricting the wards within the city of North Little Rock, and this is the final reading. It was on the final reading from the last meeting.
Move for adoption.
So it's the motions to adopt.
Second.
Second.
Okay, that's okay. Was there any discussion that I think you held it so that the illustrations could be provided to the public?
Well, Ms. Ross, Councilmember Ross asked that we hold this 2 weeks so we can have input from the city. I will ask council people here right now, has anybody had anything? Ms. Ross?
I have not heard one thing from anyone.
Okay.
And I did attend the Neighbors United for Levy, which that affects them the most of, going from Ward 3 to Ward 1. A couple of my concerns are the CDBG projects that Ward 3 has been going on. When there's no longer part of Ward 3, that's something that we need to work on.
Anybody else?
Yes, since we've improved their ward, we get credit for it.
Mr. Spencer, you did a really good job trying to get it to, 16,000, and so I got to applaud you. So again, back to it. Anybody?
I've had no public
All right.
input.
go
I've
for it.
asked around and nobody,
Then let's suspend the
Well
rules,
done.
please.
So it's actually the motion to adopt is
Motion.
pending.
All right, thank
So
you.
on the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
02225, Mayor Hartwick.
Yes, please. And I think we have 2 people on the phone. Is that right back there in the back?
Sir, I need to go ahead
I
and
know,
read it
go ahead and
first.
please read it.
An ordinance repealing ordinance number 9004, revoking a special use for a mobile home in an R2 zone for property located at 7001 Faulkner Lake Road in the city of North Little Rock. This is the second reading. And the 2 present are here in chambers.
How you doing? Thank you. I am going to convene a public hearing right now. I think that's what we should do. Let me go ahead and do that. On 02225, I reconvene a public hearing. Those wishing to speak for or against it. I do have 2 people on the phone. I have someone in the audience.
The 2 in the phone are on a different item, I believe.
Say what?
I thought the 2 on the phone were on 2227, were they not?
I've got here saying 2225, Ms. Sheila Campbell and
These are the 2 people that are here in chambers.
Okay, you're here now, so if you'd like to come forward, please. Yeah, I got 27 and 25s.
Honorable Mayor, Council, I'm Sheila Campbell, and I'm here this evening to represent Mr. Delano Davis. Mr. Delano Davis was granted a special use ordinance for 3 years in April of 2018. He had moved his mobile home onto 10.6 acres of land at 7001 Faulkner Lake Road. At the end of his 3 years that we were coming out of a pandemic, Mr. Davis was able to convert his mobile home into realty pursuant to Arkansas Code Annotated 2714-1603 by affixing this property, his manufactured home, and surrendering the certificate of origin so that his home is now taxed as a realty. And he has spent $90,000 on this mobile home, where he has bricked it. He has brought it up to standards so that he could borrow money on the structure. And it would be an undue burden and hardship on him to tear down the mobile home, which would affect the structural integrity of the home. He lives at that home with his wife and his 2 children. And it does not in any way detract from the area where he lives. This home has been valued now at $336,000 and is comparable to other homes in this area. And the purpose of an ordinance, according to what is written in the rules and regulations of the ordinance, is that it should be granted if it could result in some undue hardship. And to have this family who is trying to work and have a decent place for their children to live, it would be an undue hardship for him to have to tear down, basically, this home now that has been bricked, where it's not detracting from being a residence in an R2 zone. And we'd ask that the Planning Commission's vote to have him move this home be denied.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak for or against this? Please come forward. If not, I'm going to adjourn the public hearing. Public hearing is now adjourned.
So it's been read the second time. We need a motion and a second to suspend and place it on the third and final reading.
Can I beg your pardon for just a sec? Mr. Spencer, can you come forward, please? I needed some background, because I think this started 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So if you can bring this council up to date, please, sir.
Yes, Sean Spencer with Planning Department. If I can give you a little background, if that's okay, on what all's happened in the last 3 years. So on April 10th in 2018, Mr. Davis appeared before the Planning Commission to ask if he could move a mobile home onto the property while he built a house. He told the
Say that again.
He asked the Planning Commission to allow a mobile home on the property while he built a house on the property, so it was a temporary use. He told the Planning Commission that he only wanted a mobile home for 1 year, as his goal was to have the house built in 1 year. The Planning Commission recommended to Mr. Davis to give him 3 years to allow for rain and snow and, whatever circumstances could happen during the construction. So the Planning Commission, and also if he didn't get it done, they didn't want him to have to go back through this whole process 1 year later and ask for an extension. So they were trying to help by giving him 3 years. Neighbors were present at the meeting, and they were against the mobile home. But they agreed if the house was built and the mobile home was gone in 3 years, they could live with it for 3 years. The Planning Commission then voted to recommend to City Council, so it was the Planning Commission recommendation to City Council that Mr. Davis be allowed to have a mobile home for 3 years while he was built his house. City Council voted on May 14th, 2018, to grant Mr. Davis a special use to allow a mobile home on the property for 3 years. The mobile home was permitted as a temporary use while a permanent house was being built. The Planning Department received calls from neighbors stating that the 3 years were done and no house has been built in that 3 years. Staff contacted Mr. Davis to inform him of a public hearing to revoke the special use. Staff also informed Mr. Davis that there was no process to extend the special use, as it was approved as a temporary use, and what he's wanting to do is a permanent use. So there would be no way to amend this special use. Mr. Davis stated that he has also modified the mobile home to meet Pulaski County Assessor's requirements for tax purposes as a home. And since the county assessor states that the mobile home is real property, then it meets all codes. The Planning Commission was informed that the modified mobile home did not meet North Little Rock's zoning ordinance, and since no inspections were done, we have no way to determine if it meets building codes or fire codes. The Planning Commission was also informed that they could only vote on the revocation because notice was only done to the neighbors and in the newspaper concerning a public hearing on revocation. So, they were trying to think of how to change the request, but they weren't allowed to, as because, and the same thing here, the public hearing is for revocation, and that's what you'd be voting on. The Planning Commission voted on March 8th, 2020 to recommend that City Council revoke the special use. Mr. Davis was informed that to resolve the issue, he would need to start a new process and apply for a rezoning of the property. And that brings us pretty much up to where we are right now. We're having a public hearing to talk about the revocation of the special use.
Okay. Questions? Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is a good example of the city council making a special exception for somebody or giving them a certain period of time to do something and they not do it. It's time that the city council starts following through with what's going to happen at the end of that special period that we gave someone. It's time that we start following through with what we stated, in this case, back in 2018. I can name you some houses that have been back 6 or 7 months ago that we gave them 6 or 7 months to fix it up, and they hadn't fixed it up. It's time that we start following through with what we threatened to do. End of comment.
Can I?
Mr. Harris.
Okay. So let's back up. So we did a 3-year deal. They came in. He said he's going to build a house. I wish I would have gone and looked at this property. So
It's got pictures in the back.
I see the pictures.
Okay.
So he never started a house. I guess he never did start a
Never
house.
started a house.
Brought in a mobile home, I guess. Brought in a mobile home. And then later on, I guess, looks like to me, put a front porch on it maybe and some brick around it or something like that. Is that?
That's according to, we weren't involved in the permitting issue or knowing exactly what was done, but what you had there states that they put a roof on it and built a masonry wall around it and put a porch on it and a permanent foundation.
So I guess in the eyes of this citizen, he built a house? Is that the eyes of this?
You'd have to ask them on their opinion on it. But
Okay.
as far as the zoning ordinance and building codes go, it's a mobile home.
Gosh. So what's before us tonight? Authorizing the mayor and city council, what
So at no time has anybody talked about tearing down the house or anything like that. Before you now is to revoke the special use, and that will then let us start the next process, and it would be up to the applicant what he wants to do next. So he's been asked or told that, one way is to apply for a special, rezoning the property we could rezone it to allow that structure. But what's before you now is, do you want to revoke the special use?
Mr. Baxter.
Mr. Spencer, I have a question. I'm going to list off some items here, and if you would, please just let me know whether or not a permit would be required for each of these actions on a house.
Correct.
Brick home, light gray brick.
Just putting, yes, it would, I mean,
It would
I need a
require-
little more.
If
I
I
mean,
was going to brick my house, just like it says here.
yes, you would need a permit.
Okay, if I was going to build a deck in the top, would I
Yes.
need a permit? Install a metal roof?
Yes,
Windows? Would that be based?
Yes,
Subject to the number of windows I replaced, I guess, is that correct?
correct.
And, okay, that's fine. And at no time did any of this get permitted, is that correct?
We haven't, no, we haven't been asked for any permits, so it is, part of the property is in the county, so it would be up to the applicant to ask us for a permit for that. If it was in the city, they would, 100% have to have a permit. So we do issue permits out in the county. If someone asks us to go, you do it. And part of the special use states that, all city codes are to be met. So that would, I would assume that meant to get permits for stuff. because yours meet all city codes.
Permits and then a follow-up inspection for each
Yes.
action that was performed, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Robinson?
I guess my question is, he was allowed the mobile home because he was going to build a
Built house,
stick-built
yes.
house. He was going to build a house, so we allowed the mobile home for X amount of time, giving him time to build a house.
Correct.
The house was never built.
Correct.
So now, what he's asking is, forget the house. Allow me to continue to live on this property in this mobile house, in this mobile home. He's not saying anything anymore about building a house, which was the original special use. Am I right?
That's what they're asking, but the public hearing is for revocation of the special use. So they're not able to ask that right now because we didn't notify the paper or the neighbors of that request. So what's just being asked right now is, do we revoke the special use?
Let me offer one more comment here. Is it possible to put this on hold for the next, I mean, I'm not comfortable as a council member making a decision on this today because I'm thinking this is something that I want to put my eyes on because this is weird.
Right.
And I'm not comfortable with, I see this, I just think I'd like to look at it. I don't know if it's, I mean, I don't see the hurry here, and I don't know.
If
You're asking me right now if I will hold this for 2 more weeks so you can look at, all councilmen look at it.
Yeah.
Now, we've been going 3.5 years, so I'm going to ask y'all, I'll hold it, or do you want me to hold it? Or you want it, right now, where are we standing?
I've got a question before,
Go ahead.
unless
No,
you
no,
want
go
to
ahead. No,
have
no.
that
Go ahead.
done now. If we revoke the special use now, presumably the next step in the process is for the applicant to say, okay, I don't have a special use for this anymore. Now I need to come and ask permission to leave this house as it is.
Or,
Not
no.
really. So
Okay.
He could get it for a zoning change.
Yeah,
He gets
so
for his own.
Either whatever happens today, either way, on your vote, it's going to be, the outcome is the same. So if you were to turn it down, then he has the option to apply for a rezoning. If you were to say it stays as it is, it's still in violation of our zoning codes, and we'd go out and follow through with court on improper zoning violation. So the vote, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but
Sure.
the outcome is going to be the same of it's not allowed. So the special use said for 3 years, and that's what we're stating right now.
So whether we revoke the special use or not, it's not zoned for this.
It's not zoned for it. So even if, I can't tell the future, but if you guys were to approve the rezoning in the future, then it would be allowed. But that'd be the only way to allow it, would be through a rezoning process.
We revoke or not, it is
Still
still.
in this, the outcome is still going to be the same, that it's zoned wrong.
Thank you very much. I don't need to hold it.
Anybody? So where are we right now, Mr. Whitby?
Motion to suspend the readings.
Motion to suspend?
Second.
There's a second.
Yes.
No?
I've got a real problem with this. I do. I got a real problem.
Can't right now. I really can't.
I got a real-
saw you, and I can't do it right now, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to see it, no.
Ken
Yes.
and Height?
Yes.
Mayor, I need you to vote to be able to suspend the readings.
Yes.
Okay?
Now, hang on just a second. I had a public hearing a while ago. I want to explain it, okay? You had chances to speak. I can't break it right now. Do you understand where I'm coming from on this? I hope you do. I do apologize, but it went through its public hearing. I saw a man out here won't speak, so let's go for it.
So,
Now-
so that was the motion to suspend the readings.
Yes.
So now the motion would be a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor to adopt it. Are you understand where we are on this? Okay, I just want to make sure, I know. Hang on. We just got to go through the motions, please. So there's a motion on the floor, and there is a second to adopt.
Okay? On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor is, sorry, not here. Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
No.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer, come here, please, 1 second now. So, we've gone through 3.5 years, we've finalized it. This person who lives in this mobile home, what, does he have any action that he could take to come back to the council for a zoning change now?
We would go through the process of applying to the Planning Commission, do notice to the neighbors, notice in the paper, Planning Commission vote with a recommendation. So the Planning Commission recommends to City Council would have the final vote.
Does that answer your question back there, sir? Does it, what you've done is, we've took away 3.5 years here, and we're saying you got to go forward. Your only option right now is to come with a zoning ordinance back to the Planning Commission that will come to the council. And that's where you stand right now. You're not going to be, go ahead, miss. You're not going to be made to tear down your house tomorrow or anything, but you do have an option. If you want to see your options, please contact Mr. Spencer, and it will come back to us. I'm not saying we'll change anything, but your action go forward can ask for a zoning change. Ms. Ross?
No, I was clarifying that, and you have 30 days also to appeal it to the circuit
Yes,
court.
exactly. Thank you.
So he always has an option from here, and I know that your attorney understands that.
Anything else? We'll go forward. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mayor, we're up to consent items. There are 3.
Where are we again, or what is it?
Consent items.
Please go. Yes, please call.
You want one pulled?
Yes,
I see.
R2281.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking. The 3 on here, I'm fine with going through all 3 of them, please.
So you want all of them read separately?
Please.
Okay.
R2279.
Okay, R2279, Mayor Hartwick.
Please. These are good work.
It'd be a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an electric customer assistance services agreement with Central Arkansas Development Council for 2022.
Move for adoption.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Second.
Discussion, none. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor? Taylor's messing me up.
He's not here yet.
Yeah, he's still not here. I keep trying. Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2280, Mayor Hartwick.
Please. Thank you, Eric.
A resolution declaring certain city-owned items and other equipment as surplus, providing for auction thereof.
Move for adoption.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Second.
Okay, on the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2281, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an exclusive listing contracts with Irealty, Arkansas Sharewood, to sell 7 vacant lots located in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption. I have an amendment.
Second.
Motion to adopt, second. Hang on. Go ahead, yes, sir. She's got an amendment to this.
Okay.
Yes.
I contacted Mr. Spencer
Okay, did you, Sean? Come on up, please, real fast.
for a map, because I wish we always had a map every time we have something, because I don't know where legal descriptions are in the city. But The map that he sent me it shows 10 lots, and they are in the contract. The lots are listed, Mr. Hamilton. But, however, in the wording, it says 7 lots, so we just need to amend that, wherever it says 7 lots to 10 lots.
Well, we only got descriptions on 7 of them, though, is what the key is.
Well, in one of the contracts.
Can we call in? Come on up, please.
State your name.
And I don't have any problem with what you're saying, it's just that all I had was 7.
Colleen Bailey, Economic Development. It's, from my understanding, it's 7 contracts, but they're 11 parcels. So 10 parcels. So a few of the contracts have 2 or more parcels on them.
Mr. Hamilton.
Thanks to Councilmember Ross, we were looking at it in detail, and we saw 7 contracts. One of the contracts has 3 lots.
Okay.
So I believe all we have to amend is the title that says authorizing yada, yada, yada to sell 10 vacant lots.
Amendment
That's my
on the
amendment.
floor. There's an amendment on the floor
Second.
then.
And do you want that illustration, the maps included? I do not
Yes,
have that.
please.
Then someone needs to give it to me.
So there's a motion on the floor
I can
to
forward.
amend it
I've been
from-
waiting on an answer since Tuesday afternoon on this, and I did not get
Okay,
it. So
well,
I will-
whoever has the map, please send me the map tomorrow.
All right?
I have it,
Everybody
and I
understand
will
what we're doing?
Shoot it to you right now.
Any questions on it?
Let me
Well,
go,
it's
Mr. Pike
actually,
first.
I just wanted to know, these 7 or 11, 10, whatever lots, how are they selected?
They're,
Go ahead.
from my understanding, these are small, almost very low valued lots that we've been mowing consistently. So it's in an effort to kind of simplify some of our,
Yeah, 2 or 3 of them are in Ward 4. We're not going to change any zoning.
correct. Well, let me not speak out of turn.
There's no zoning changes in it. All we're doing is getting some lots that we mow the grass for and trying to put them up for sale so we can actually start getting a little money and not have to take care of it. Anybody else? Mr. Baxter?
So this is actually for Clerk Whitby. When you get the maps, will they be added to the archive piece of the agenda?
They will be attached to what becomes the permanent record.
Okay. Just so I can have it for, thank you.
So we're on the amendment right now?
Yes, sir.
All right.
On the amendment, Ross?
Yes, and I just emailed that to you, yes.
You. Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt as amended?
So
Motion
moved.
adopted, second.
Motion adopted, seconded.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Didn't mean to go mama bear on y'all on that, but gotta have my stuff. Okay.
I just want to know where the lots are.
Okay, so now we're up to ordinances. 02227, Councilmember Baxter.
Please call it.
I have 2 people on the phone still, I think.
That's on, yeah, on that one.
Okay.
So Deputy City Clerk Reader, just going to read that. Press on.
An ordinance vacating and abandoning a certain unused easement on property located at Fort Roots along Hill Road on behalf of the Central Arkansas Veterans Healthcare System.
First reading.
Move to suspend all ratings.
Okay.
Second.
Motion suspended, seconded.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Do I need to introduce these 2 people on the phone, or Mr. Baxter?
Probably should go ahead and get the motion to adopt. then
Okay, go
do
ahead,
that.
I'm sorry then.
Motion to adopt.
Motion adopt, seconded. Now, Thomas Williams, are you still there? Shane Marriott, are you still on the phone about this ordinance?
Yes, sir.
Who? Say again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Shane Marriott.
Yes, sir.
Thomas as well.
Say that again, you're going out on us, please. Hello?
Both drawn.
They're both dropped? Talk to me.
This is Shane Marriott. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sir.
Mr. Williams?
sir. It's basically, we repurchased some land back from North Little Rock, and there was an easement on there. We're just trying to get that cleared up, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Try Mr. Marriott now, Shane Marriott, if you don't mind back there. Give me for me.
This is Shane Marriott. We purchased the land in the city of North Little Rock there's an easement on it, and we're looking to get that abandoned so that we can build a new facility for the law enforcement training center there.
Got you. I appreciate y'all very much for hanging on with us then. Thank you very much. Okay, got you. Where are we?
Ready for the motion to adopt to be called? Are you ready? Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
02228, Councilmember Hamilton?
Please call it.
An ordinance waiving section 9.11A of the subdivision ordinance number 7946 for property located at 4300 Stockton Drive to allow the waiver of the sidewalk requirements. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Motion to suspend and seconded.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
There's water in front of you. Give her some water.
I've got,
Don't drink mine.
you may have to call roll.
Go ahead, Jim, please carry forward.
Motion to approve. Move to approve.
Motion
Second?
There's a motion to approve, and there's a second, and I see Ms. Ross over here. Ms. Ross.
All righty.
Mr. Spencer, if he can just kind of give us any reason why this should be waived?
And real quick, just so everyone knows, this is for consideration only. I have not yet decided on how I'm going to vote on this.
Mr. Spencer.
I have some thoughts and questions myself.
I mean, I give my personal opinion, but the planning commission required the sidewalks.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't really have a reason to waive, to say it's waived or not. They are, the one side that faces Smoky, they are proposing to build that, and that will finish the sidewalk once this other lot gets developed, and we're soon to see across the street, that lot's soon to be developed. So within the next 6-7 months, Smoky will be done, all the sidewalks along Smoky. Stockton only has a road on the north side, or it's not a road, sidewalk on the north side, all the way to, is that Richards? It's off my map here. Well, to the next intersection, it's done on the north side. So the question is it justified to have a sidewalk on the south side for industrial uses, and is anybody going to use it? And should there be anybody walking on that road? So that is up for you all to decide.
Okay, so just to clarify, there is a sidewalk on the other side of the street that's all the way down, and it's completed. This one is in its heavy commercial, I guess you would say.
Yes.
Where the sidewalk.
If not industrial.
Industrial, okay. That's someone, just clarify. I know I talked to you about it to get the info, but.
Anybody else? Mr. Hamilton?
I was contacted by, I believe, the engineer for this. Bear, is he?
Is he here? He's here.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to see you face to face. I've talked to you on the phone a couple times.
Yes, sir.
He and I had a discussion about it. This is a sidewalk waiver, and I'm always in favor of sidewalks. I don't like to waive sidewalks. And I told him that I'd be happy to sponsor it for consideration, get it before y'all. I believe this is our opportunity to get this sidewalk built. And if we waive it, I don't believe we will have another opportunity to have a sidewalk, to make someone build a sidewalk there. So in order to be fair to you, Bear, I wanted to give you an opportunity to state your case. But again, I wanted to state for the council's consideration that I am probably not for waiving this sidewalk requirement.
Do you want to speak, or do you want me to, Ms. Robinson? Would you?
Go ahead, Ms. Robinson. I'll wait.
I guess my question is this is it in an industrial area?
It is. If that's true, Mr. Spencer, please answer.
The use on the south side is in industrial uses, yes. So it's not in an industrial subdivision. It's not in an industrial subdivision. If it was in an industrial subdivision, sidewalks wouldn't be required. So this, you know, most of this up here is commercial. So that's where we're sort of stuck here with, you know, would you recommend it or not? So it's sort of a city council decision on that.
Thank you. Anybody else? You want to let him, or you want to go first?
Well, one of you, there's not a sidewalk down Stockton from Smoky Lane, from Smoky down to the next street is on that side.
No, sir, there's
This
not.
would be the only sidewalk. Is that correct?
That's right.
So, yes, and go with what Councilman Hamilton was saying is this is your one chance to get it, because very rarely are we going to be getting a chance to get sidewalks in this type of area unless they build a new building or they do a replat or that type of thing, or an addition to the building or something.
Yeah, why did we waive the sidewalk before? Do you know?
It may not have been required when that building was built. How old's that building?
That's a couple of decades old.
Yeah, so we may not have had the sidewalk requirements.
Just one
20-some years.
section of Stockton that we're asking to waive. There's no sidewalk of the rest of that block.
Correct.
On that side.
On that side, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, please.
I'd like to add, Mayor Davidson, I'd like to add a few things. So we understand the requirements for sidewalks and appreciate half-street improvements requirements. In this particular instance, along Stockton, it seems a little out of balance with what's occurring and what's being asked. So what triggered the requirements for the half-street improvements, the sidewalks, was a replat. And what that replat dealt with, briefly, was an empty lot between Come and Go and the Mass Tech building and the Mass Tech building's lot itself. That came from Mass Tech, the owner of the Mass Tech's lot's willingness to sell a 30-foot strip of land to their neighbor so that their vacant lot was more developable. It's pretty narrow without that 30-foot strip. So the replat just dealt with that transfer of a 30-foot strip between the lots. And it triggered a requirement for sidewalks along all of the frontage in front of the Mass Tech property, which is about 600 linear feet. So this sale of 30 feet of land triggered the requirement for 600 feet of sidewalks in front of a building that's already developed, has been there for several decades, and that Mass Tech properties owners not wishing to construct anything or redevelop, they were simply just trying to sell 30 feet to their neighbor, and now they're being asked to construct 600 feet of sidewalks. We understand that this body likes sidewalks, we do too, and so we didn't ask that you waive all of the sidewalks. We're willing to do whatever you call us to do, but we understand the need for sidewalks along Smoky. There's a gap on Smoky, and this proposal is not asking you to waive those sidewalks along Smoky, just on Stockton, where there are no sidewalks on the south side. Stockton's fully built out. So just like this is, in fact, the only instance you could have sidewalks built probably along Stockton at that location, but that's true for all of our neighbors to the east. So this would essentially be a sidewalk to nowhere for the foreseeable future, the portion we're asking you to waive. So we just ask that you would take into consideration what occurred, this sale of 30 feet of property, and that's sort of a tall ask to require 600 feet of sidewalks to be built. If we could waive those on Stockton, it would reduce that amount to about 120 feet. And it makes sense for the sidewalk to continue on Smoky, so we're happy and willing to do that. And I'd be glad to answer any questions if there are more.
Ms. Ross?
I don't have any questions, but this is the perfect example of why legal that we're working on the in lieu of sidewalk fees and the in lieu of tree fees. In this instance, what we could do, rather than if they wanted to pay the in lieu of fee, those funds would go into whatever ward they're in, and this happens to be in Ward 1, and those sidewalks funds could be used in other areas. And you build that fund up, and then in time, if sidewalks are required on this, then you would have the money at that time to put sidewalks down there. So that's something that hopefully
That's in the future.
a couple of weeks or a month that we'll have that from legal.
Anybody else?
There's a sidewalk already across the street, right?
On both streets, yes, sir, Smoky and Stockton, that's right.
And, okay, I hear Councilmember Hamilton, but I like, but the part about the sidewalk goes to, so I haven't seen it. Gosh darn, I guess I should have got out more on this time. But anyway, so if you go down Stockton, there's never going to be any sidewalks down there?
No, it's fully built out the whole way to Richards, and there's no sidewalks on that south side of the street.
Boy,
So unless
Councilmember.
those properties were torn down and something else was being rebuilt and submitted to Planning Commission, it's extremely unlikely there'd ever be sidewalks built on that side of the street.
Mr. Hamilton?
Like it would be extremely unlikely for us to have the opportunity to do this right now. If the time would come in the future where we would want somewhere down the road for there to be a sidewalk, we would have waived our opportunity here, and it would make no sense to require it then. But if at this point in time we do require the sidewalks, then in that future time, we would say it makes sense to put sidewalks in because we have already got sidewalks there. That's my opinion.
Baxter?
Okay, so I'm going to take this from a little bit different spin. In so much as just down from there, you've got hotel, right? You got the med center. I know that a lot of healthcare professionals have a tendency to exercise, as do folks in hotels. And, you know, if I was going out from that hotel to run, I would want as much sidewalk as I could because I'm aware of McCain. And I would stay away from McCain and probably Smoky Lane. However, I understand also that in an effort to get my mileage in that I wanted, I would probably have to venture on to Stockton and on and around there. So again, to me, that close to those two facilities, and then we've got the hotel across, we've got the Holiday Inn, and then there's several others out there in that area. I just think that, having that sidewalk is to me, it would be a big thing in that particular area because there's already some sidewalk out there, and, I'm normally okay with these waivers. However, there's some here. I understand you're going to put some along Smoky, but this is y'all's area, so I'm just throwing my 2 cents in, and I'm not going to rock your boat.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to just add one more comment to consider. When half-street improvements are required, when sidewalks are required, it's generally when there's a replat or a site plan. It's when development's occurring, when somebody's spending money on a piece of property to build something. The city requires, hey, when you do that, you also need to put in sidewalks along the street. I see that as very understandable. This property owner here, Mastech, was approached by their neighbor, said, hey, would you sell us this 30-foot strip of land? Mastech went in and said, sure, we'll sell it so you can use that piece of property. And in turn, they're being asked to build 600 feet of sidewalk. It doesn't seem like the normal scenario when sidewalks, that trigger for a sidewalk to be built, when someone's spending money developing and constructing. That's not the case here. So just ask that you consider that as well.
Anything else? Where are we?
Just need a motion to adopt?
There's a motion to adopt, and did I hear a second?
Second.
There's a second. So everybody understand what you're voting on, right?
All right. Councilmember Ross?
Yes?
Hamilton?
Just to be clear, we're voting to waive?
Waive, yes.
No.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
No.
Ginn?
No.
And Height?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And now in the emergency? Oh, okay. Oh, no. Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Anything else from anybody right now tonight? If not, we've got Burns Park Annual Easter egg hunt coming up April 16th to Saturday. Ballet Arkansas Live on the Plaza, April 29th. Central Arkansas Heart Walk, April 30th. Anything else?
And we had Hogs Meat Market ribbon cutting today.
We did? Yes,
We
it
do
was.
have one other thing to add.
Yes, ma'am.
On April 11th, 1904, the first city council meeting for the city of North Little Rock was held in the new city hall at 506 Newton, which is now the History Commission at 506 Main.
And you were there, thank you. No, I don't hear it. Somebody help me, please.
Do
real
adjourn
fast.
quickly.
Yes.
No.
All right, on second. Let's go. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And you're going to be sorry.